Well, welcome everyone. Thunder, do you want applause or you want me to get applause? You don't know. You just want to entertain. There are seats over here, folks, for those of you who are standing. Much like church, I noticed they're in the first two rows mostly, so please come forward if you'd like to have a seat. Welcome. Welcome back to many of you. It seems like just about 2 or 3 weeks ago that we were kicking off the football season. Time flies when we're having fun, and indeed we've had a fun fall. We're going to kick off today basketball season and talk about our men's and women's program. And I hope those of you who have not been in the facility before, if that is the case for any of you, take a chance to walk around, because this facility is really an amazing place. I actually see that we still have some students working out this morning, so take advantage of seeing the facility and look downstairs as well, because I think it's quite impressive. We have a strong tradition of basketball. Most all of you in the room know that. We have a strong history. Our attendance records are well chronicled, and we have no reason to believe that we're going to have anything but that strong tradition this fall and build on that strong tradition and really put on a product that all of you will enjoy watching, both on the men's side and on the women's side. Our attendance record, as I said, has been something that has been well reported, and we hope to extend that attendance record for another year as the top attendance for NCAA Division II. If you haven't been in the arena, we've had some improvements there as well, and I think you'll like what you see in there. Stay tuned. We're still trying to do things every day to give it a little different look and a little different feel. It's a great facility, but as is the case with anything, we always want to do upgrades and improvements. As I said, we think our men's and women's programs will be exciting to watch and exciting to listen to when we're on the road. Not everyone can travel with us, but you can hear us on the radio. And certainly we have people that are in the arena that listen on the radio as well. You'll see them with earphones or some kind of headset or something as they're listening, as they're watching the game. We have an announcement today. Some of you may know that we have a retired athletic director who I can't find anything for him to do. So I asked Bob, and we spoke with Gene, and we said, why don't we add a color guy for home basketball games? And Bob said, well, I think that's a good idea. Who would do that? And I said, well, Coach, you got an office over in Lincoln Hall, and I don't see you doing a lot over there. So how about you do the color for us, along with Gene doing the play-by-play? And Bob has agreed to that, and Gene's agreed to that. So if you do listen for home games, you'll hear two voices. And Coach tells me he won't criticize officials, but I don't believe him, because he certainly has had more than one criticism over the years as athletic director and coach. But I think it'll be a lot of fun to listen to Coach Olson and Gene Rich on the radio this year. And Bob's going to do the home men's games, and then Gene will obviously do home and away and men's and women's. So those are the updates I have from the university president's point of view. I welcome you here. I'm excited for basketball. We're certainly excited for what we're going to be able to put as far as a product on the floor. I know our coaches are excited and our players are excited. But before we get to the coaches and the players, we need to have our athletic director say a word or two, our new athletic director, Josh Moon.
Well, thank you, everybody. Who's excited for basketball? Come on, yeah. Right, yeah. Dr. Smith talked about the attendance here, which I think is pretty amazing. The fact that we led the nation in attendance the last 5 years in Division II, and then actually had higher attendance than SDSU and USD. So very special tradition here, very special program with both men's and women's. We're excited for this season. One thing we know the tradition here and the strong history, one thing we're working on, Dr. Smith kind of alluded to, is we're really looking at trying to make things even better in Waukesha Arena and the Barnett Center. So one thing we're going to have actually here next week is going to be some portable hoops, which you'll see the same hoops that are used in UCLA and Michigan State's gymnasiums, arenas will be in Northern State University, Barnett Center, Waukesha Arena. So we're very excited about that. It'll add a new dynamic, new element to the experience here for fans and our student athletes. So look for those. We will not have the drop-down rims, and we will not have the vibrating rims after the dunk for 2 possessions. Apparently that's happened before, so we're excited about that, and again, another good thing for the basketball program and for our student athletes here. Really have helped the environment. Another thing we're looking at tonight, we're going to have a kickoff event for our student athletes for the basketball season. So today is kind of the start here for Media Day, and then later on tonight is going to be our tip-off event for basketball. So 6:30 p.m. we're going to have our Wolves buddies come out there and kind of do a little costume contest for them. And then at 7 p.m. we're going to have a three-point contest, slam dunk contest with our men's and women's basketball teams, just to get them out there and let all of our fans and community get to meet all of our student athletes. So please come out, get the word out about that. A very special event tonight in Wachs Arena. All right, we're going to move on to the important people here. First off, I'm going to introduce Coach Kurt Frederickson. Coach Fred is no stranger to Northern, winningest coach in the Northern Sun Intercollegiate Conference, one of the winningest coaches in the nation, 707 wins, 2 national championships, 34th season at NSU, and we would be inducted into the NAIA Hall of Fame in March. So very storied career. We're happy to have him here. He does have 3 deer heads in his office. You haven't seen that before. So an avid hunter. He is 4 deer heads. All right. So please welcome Coach Kurt Frederickson to the podium.
Thank you. I'm going to introduce my players here so they can sit down, and we'll keep one of them up here to say a few words. These 4 have been around our program for quite a long time, and they're obviously the core of our program. Sarah Hintz is one of our 2 seniors from Woodbury, Minnesota. Sarah is, I think, 5'11", probably the smallest 4 player in our conference. Last year, Sarah led our conference in field goal shooting at 60%. You know, she has that sneaky little underneath left-handed shot of hers that nobody can figure out, and so she's a very good shooter for us, a very good scorer, and you know, one of our leaders, one of our captains. Yvonne plays a backup center position and also sings the national anthem for the basketball games. Got to give a lot of credit to Yvonne. She's been a backup player for us for 3 years now, and she'll be a backup player her 4th year, and she's out there competing every day, playing just as hard as anybody else. She's been a great leader for our younger kids, and so these are our 2 seniors. Our junior, Allison Kusler, was second team all-conference last year. I think Allie averaged about 10 points a game, and we're looking for big things from her this year. Rachel Krogman. Rachel is a redshirt sophomore. This is her 3rd year in our program. Rachel hurt her knee, I think the 5th game of the year last year, and would have been able to play maybe the last 3 weeks of the season. We decided to hold her out. She got a medical hardship, and because of that, she's now only a sophomore. So Rachel will start at center for us this year, and which she didn't get a lot of playing time there last year because of the injury, but she's had a lot of experience in our program. So these will be 3 of the 4 starters that we'll have this year on our basketball team. Thank you, ladies. Stand over there. I'd like to thank everybody for being here. One correction, Josh happened to say that we're going to be in a 3-point contest and a slam dunk contest with the men. We say there's men don't need that much patting on the back to have a slam dunk contest against the women's team. So we will have a 3-point contest, but I think we'll stay out of the slam dunk contest. Just a couple points about this building. You know, obviously I've been here a long time, and this facility with the weight room up here and with our locker rooms and with our basketball offices is, you know, just been a joy to come to work to every day, and it's really exciting for our players. You know, some of these players have been around for 3 years sharing a locker room with the softball team and the volleyball team, and you know, now we can do some things to our own locker room, and it's a first-class facility, and so, you know, it's really helped us in the recruiting part of it. You know, we're pretty much done recruiting for next year, and those athletes have come out in about 2 weeks when letters of intent are signed. But it's really made a difference on that standpoint. I'm sure Coach Sather will say the same thing. But this facility we have for a Division II college is there isn't anything better in the country. You know, we travel around the league and we see what we compete against, and you know, there's some facilities that have some nice arenas and nice gyms, But when you're talking about locker room, weight room, and gym facilities, there isn't anything better than what we have here at Northern State. And I think that says a lot for our administration. I think Josh has come in here with some good ideas, you know, some different ideas, but I think some good ideas to try to do some different things to even generate more interest with students on campus and with the general public. You know, some of the things we've done different with the Hall of Fame room I think is good, and with the rims, and you know, a lot of the different ideas I think will really kind of help both programs. A little bit about basketball. We've been practicing for 2 weeks now, and players have been working hard. They're excited. We had a scrimmage last week with Dakota Wesleyan down in Mitchell. Started out pretty shaky because we got a lot of young players, but we finished pretty strong in that scrimmage. Everybody got a chance to play, and we had a chance to. We had practiced 8 times, and they'd practiced about 20 times because they're in NEIE school. So it's pretty easy to see the team that had practiced the longest. We've got a little bit of a different team this year. We graduated 4 seniors from last year. One of them our leading scorer, and Emily Becken at the point guard position. So obviously that's a position of concern for us. We graduated our starting center. We graduated one of our guards. We graduated Michaela Barando, who's played here for 4 years. So we, and you know, our center last year was 6'3", and the girl before her was 6'6". Neither one of those people were, you know, were going to win any sprint contests. So we played a pretty deliberate style of basketball. Now we've got some kids I think that can run a little bit, not just at the center position, but at the 3 position and at the 1 position and all the way through our lineup. So we're going to play a little bit more up-tempo this year, a little up and down the court, a little bit more than we have in the past. So that'll be interesting and probably nerve-wracking for a while, but we're going to give it a shot and see how it comes out. We think we have a lot of team depth. Just to give you a little idea what kind of team we have 2 of our top 11 players. We have 2 seniors, we have 1 junior, we have 7 sophomores and 1 freshman. So this is a very, very young basketball team. I think we're going to be better later, second half of the season, when some of these younger kids get some experience. But we got some good young players. They just haven't had a chance to get out on the floor and play much. And I think they'll do a good job of competing when we do, and we need some of those upperclassmen to kind of hold the fort down a little bit until we get some experience with our younger kids. It's a little bit more interesting this year on the basketball side of it because now we have a north-south format. And we've got 8 teams in the north and we've got 8 teams in the south. And we play everybody in the north twice and we play everybody in the south once. So we're playing 22 league games at the end of our season. All 22 of those games come into importance in relationship to seeding for playoffs. Whereas the 1 seed from the north plays the 8th seed from the south and so on. And that's how we pare it down for the conference tournament. So every game we play is going to be important. Our prognosticators in our conference, our coaches, have picked us to finish 10th out of 16 teams, which that's fine. And they've picked us to finish 4th in the north, which, like I said, I've never minded being the underdog before, and I know our players don't think we're the 10th worst team in the league, and the only thing we can do is go out and show them on the basketball court. And, you know, it isn't the coach's fault. We've got a lot of young kids that coaches haven't seen play before. And so they're going on what we lost, which was 4 seniors and 3 starters. And if I didn't know anything about our team, that's probably where I'd rate us too. But like I said, we've got some good young players and some good old players. It's just a question of putting those people together a little bit. Our first game is going to be in a couple weeks against Black Hills and South Dakota Tech. We've had a pretty good relationship with those 2 schools. We went out there and played them last year. They're both Division II schools now. And we've got Mankato coming in here that 16th and 17th weekend of November. So Mankato is playing Black Hills one day and we're playing Tech. The next day Mankato plays Tech and we play Black Hills State. And next year we'll go back out and probably play Hills and Tech out in the hills again. So it gives us a chance to play a couple in-state rivals a little bit, play a couple Division II teams, and then we've got a Thanksgiving tournament in Minneapolis in which we're playing Kearney State and we're playing William Penn out of Iowa. So those will be the 4 non-conference games that we'll play before we get into our conference schedule. I know that our players and our coaches are looking forward to the season. You know, with this young a team, we need a lot of practice time, which is what we're getting. We're trying to put different things in each day and gradually build up to the 16th of November. We'll probably have one small scrimmage before that time, but like I said, our players and coaches are very excited about the season. Yvonne here lost the guessing game with the numbers behind the back, so she kind of got nominated to say a few words in relationship to our basketball team. The only thing I told her is make sure when you get behind the mic you don't start singing the national anthem. At least say something here before you start singing. So after she's done, I'll take any questions if anybody has any. One more thing, a couple things I should say about Yvonne from a non-basketball standpoint. You know, Yvonne's an All-American discus thrower. I think she threw the discus 150-some feet. She also stars in all their musicals and in the music department. So she's got her plate full, and she's done very well over the last 3 or 4 years.
Well, like Coach said, as players, we're all really, really excited. It's a new year, it's a new season, and we're just really excited to get the ball rolling. Our scrimmage against this past week was, like Coach said, a little shaky, since a lot of us haven't played a lot of close relationship basketball yet. I think we have one of the most hardworking teams. I know all the girls out there are really busting and really working really hard to get the job done. We're really getting closer as a team, and every year it's always, those first couple weeks are always kind of back and forth and just figuring out how everybody plays. But like Coach said, I'm a senior, and I'm really honored to be playing with another senior, Sarah Hins. I'm glad we both were able to stick through the program with Coach Fredrickson being our coach. And I'm really honored to be with 2 other great captains on our team. Like Coach said, we have a lot of young players, and they're really coming into their own and really fitting in really well and working really hard with all of our 300 plays that we have. So they're doing a great job. They're really working hard, and it'll be a great season, and I hope to see you guys all out on November 16th for our first game.
Anybody have any questions before we turn this over to Paul? Allison Kusler, Jr., those 3. Anybody else? And these people will be available to answer questions later too.
Yeah, can you kind of talk about not only how you lose points for, but also the leadership role, how you expect to fill that role?
Well, you know, in any sport, your underclassmen learn how to be leaders from your upperclassmen. And, you know, we've had some great role models here the last couple of years in relationship to leadership. And you know, when people graduate, it's next person up. And in this situation, it's, you know, it's a couple seniors and a junior and a sophomore that have been here for 3 years. So, you know, they've got a lot of importance on our team just by being here and watching the way they practice for our younger players. So that's how we pass on the leadership baton. Anybody else? Thank you.
Just in case you're wondering how busy this facility is, as you can see over here, we've got about 50 students working out, so this is definitely a multi-use facility. All right, next we're going to bring up Coach Paul Sather. Coach is in his 3rd year at Northern State University. Lots of success at Black Hills State before he came here. An assistant at University of Colorado. Also was an assistant for Coach Bob Olson and Coach Meyer. So no stranger to Northern State University and the tradition here. Coach Paul Sather.
Thanks for coming out. You know, it's one thing we can always count on at Northern State is really good support. And, you know, it shows today with having this press conference for the first time, you know, great support from the department and from the community. Want to do some introductions first. We got a couple guys up here. Jared Hannigan. Jared's going to be a junior for us. Dustin Tetzloff. Dustin will be one of our 3 seniors. We've got a couple guys. Jeff Furman has a class, as does Colin Pryor. Tuesday class schedules are pretty tough, and we sure don't want these young guys to be skipping class to come to a press conference. So, but these guys will be here representing, and you'll hear from Dustin Tetzloff. I think we're all excited to see what Dustin's going to say in a few minutes. But two guys that in the last few years, our first few years here together, we put a lot on. As a true freshman, we asked Jared to come in and guard the best player every night, to play a lot of significant minutes, and to score the ball. And he's really stepped up to the plate. And this fall and the start of this season, he's done an exceptional job. Dustin's, he came in. I think he was playing a 2 and a 3 at USD when he transferred here. We brought him in as a 4, and next thing you know, he's a 6'7", 195-pound postman in our league, which you don't see too often. And he's the best offensive rebounder I've ever coached, and he's one of the best in this league. And not only that, Coach Severide, first 2 years, have done a lot of things with him in the post to really kind of help him with his balance. And we still close our eyes when he gets a catch in the game because we don't know what he's going to do quite yet. But he's a career 60-plus field goal percentage guy. Has done a tremendous job for us. So you'll hear from Dustin here in a little bit. I want to do some introductions. Matt Severide. Matt Severide's top assistant here. Is up my right arm. We work really well together. His wife Maria came. So we really appreciate her support, as well my wife Kelsey, who couldn't make it. It's tough being a coach's wife, I think, as Maria would say last night. We got great news last night, and Coach Severide and I spend all day together, plus we spend all night on the phone talking. So, but also Scott DeBoer. Scott came to us from Pierre High School. Scott's a graduate assistant. And then Tom Parks. Tom played here our first year here together, and played in Spain last year. And then when Coach Wick left, Coach Parks came in and kind of filled that void. Plus, it allows him an opportunity to finish his master's degree. So we're excited to have Tom and Scott join our staff this year. We still have Coach BC, who's teaching math right now. That's, I think, entering his 20-something season. He still looks like he's 25, but he's actually coached here plus 20 years. So, and then Damon Mischke, our student assistant, does a lot of stuff behind the scenes. So a lot of people that we count on within our program. I want to welcome Coach Olson to our radio crew. I think we've all known for a long time now that he's got a face more for radio. And so I think it's a great fit that way. And I think he's going to help kind of be that balance between Gene and jumping off cliffs, and Coach Olson kind of bringing a more optimistic approach with Gino. I can still remember Gino. I think we'd get down 6-2 at Duluth, and he'd call it. It's over because it's hard to come back from that 4-point deficit at Duluth. But I think those two guys will be a lot of fun to broadcast our Wolves athletics and Wolves basketball. So it's exciting to have that crew. It's going into our third year here together, and it's an exciting time. I think we've been working from day one to build a team that is where they're all here for the right reasons, and they're all here for each other and for this university and for this community. And I think we're really getting to a point where we've got a good number of returners back. Guys that understand what the expectations are at a place like this, and guys that understand how to come to a place like Northern, where it's a Division I experience for these student athletes here. There's no doubt about it, and that comes with a lot of responsibility. And we're excited about the group we have. We've got a lot of ways. We've got a really young team, but we've got 3 really solid seniors and a couple juniors to really lean on. And We've already had some disappointments this year. With Tyden Storenston is going to miss his this year again. He had another season-ending injury that kind of went along with the injury he had last year. He had worked 8 months, really hard to get that thing back, and then just had a setback that ended up being much bigger than just a setback. So Tyden is still he's been gone for about a week with the surgery, and we'll hopefully get him back on campus later this week. But with that being said, it puts a lot of, we've got some good young freshmen that we're going to have to play. We've got good depth, I think, at the wing spots with guys like Jared Hannigan, Mitch White, Mike Emge. Those are 2 sophomores that are long, athletic. As Coach Miles once said, we like our players long, lanky, and underrated, a lot like he likes his zucchini. And that's it. We like to have length. We like to have length and athleticism, and I just think we have that at that wing spot. It kind of makes up for a little bit of the height that we don't have in the post. I think we can do some things rebounding and defensively to cause some teams some problems. At the guard spot with Jeff Furman, he's someone that got thrown in the fire last year when Ty went down and really responded well. And I think anytime you have a transfer, it's that second year that you really get the best out of them. And I thought last year after Christmas, we started getting an awful lot out of Jeffrey. And his attitude, his team attitude, and the kind of young man he is, it's exceptional. So I just think he'll have a tremendous senior year. But we're going to ask Sky Warwick to play a big hole in backing him up. And Sky was a guy that we were going to look to redshirt. Another young guy that we look to see make an impact is Mac Arvidsson from Grand Forks Red River. He's a young guy that we will not redshirt. Other than that, we've still got a lot of things we've got to answer. We've got a little bit of time yet. We go on the road, we play Northern Iowa on Sunday, but we don't have to make any decisions quite yet. Because with our depth inside, with Colin Pryor, with Dustin Tetzloff, we still have Trent Zomer and Seth Bashan. Seth had an exceptional first year here, and I just think he's going to continue to grow. And him and Trent off the bench are two pretty unique players. They both bring different attributes to our team, and we're excited about that depth right there. So it's a team. Last year where at one point we were 12-7. We were leading the league in offensive field goal percentage. We were leading the league in defensive field goal percentage, and we're leading the league in rebound margin. And then we hit a wall, and you can point fingers in a lot of different areas. The fact was, whether we were young or not strong enough or not deep enough, we hit a wall and didn't finish the season the way we wanted to. And we're excited. I think this group is coming in with a little bit more of a chip, with something to prove, and we'd like to be able to push through that wall this year. Right now, I think we're preseason 8th in our league. I think we put 30 seconds into our ranking. I think most coaches spend about that much time too. We were ranked 3rd in the North, and our goals coming in are to win the North and to get a shot, get an opportunity to get to that Final Four and win a conference tournament. And I think with this group, you always have to have a few things kind of go your way as far as your injuries and staying healthy. And if we can stay healthy with the guys we have, I think we can really surprise some folks. And not only that, I think we can be a very entertaining team to watch. I think the style we play, we want to get up and down the floor. I think last year at one point, or our first year here, I think we were averaging 89 or 90 points a game. The only problem was we were giving up 90 to 91 points a game. So we've had to really tune in defensively. We've made great improvements with that. But I think these guys will be a fun group of guys to watch play, and they're going to play really hard. And the great thing about it is they really love being here, and they're really excited about being a part of Northern State and this community. And I think it shows with how they play. Other than that, I'm going to introduce Dustin Tetzloff to come up and visit a little bit, and then we'll come back with any questions. So our senior, like I said, Colin and Jeffrey couldn't make it, so Dustin didn't even have a chance to draw a straw. He just had to come and represent our seniors. So Dustin Tetzloff.
All right, well, I'm Dustin Tetzloff. I'm a senior this year here at Northern. I started off at USD, and then I transferred my sophomore year here. And so far, it's been a great experience. I really look forward to the senior year. So far this offseason, this summer, everyone's been working hard in the weight room, gain weight, getting stronger, and also on the court, work on the fundamentals. Some of the things that we've been looking at this offseason is we had a scrimmage on Sunday against Jamestown, and we all played pretty well, except we saw some things that we can improve on too. So I'm sure this week in practice we'll work on those. And this coming week we go to USD and also UNI, so we'll see a little bit more about the things that we can improve on and what we can get better at before our first game where we head out to California, which will be a great experience being out there for a little bit. And just the thing about Northern that makes it so special is probably the community and the atmosphere that we get to play in. Everyone supports us. It's great. Every game there's tons of people that come out. You see people around the community. They recognize you, and that's what makes it so special here. For this year, I think we have a good opportunity to be pretty special as well. We could bring back a lot of new faces, like as Coach said, and we bring in a lot of new people too. But as seniors, we're going to try to set the example, show good leadership, and show them the way. So, thank you.
One thing I forgot to mention is our schedule. We do go scrimmage USD Friday. It would be a great experience to play against Coach Boots' team, who I think every year has a great team. We'll see some zone defense in that scrimmage. We haven't done anything with zone offense yet. We haven't put in a baseline OB. We've got maybe 3 or 4 entries. Fred's got about 300 in. We've got about 3 in. We're more meat and potato and really work a lot on motion. So, we'll start getting more and more entries in. From that, it's not a lot of rest. I mean, it's coming quick. We go from northern Iowa. We travel back late that night. We practice Monday, Tuesday. We leave for Anaheim. We play Friday, Saturday, Sunday against UNC Pembroke, Grand Canyon, and Cal State Dominguez Hills. This is going to be a fun 2 weeks. We got a lot happening, and I think we'll find out a lot about our team. But boy, it's not a sprint race. It's a marathon. It's a long year. We got a 22-game league schedule, and a lot of Friday, Saturday nights back to back. And it's just an absolute grind. And just when you think you got it all figured out, and you kind of stop that focus and concentration, you can slip pretty quick. So we just got to take every opportunity, every day, every practice, every game, every possession, and try to make the most of it and try to be better, every day we can. And I think with this group, that attention to detail is something that they're going to really embrace and make it important. So anyhow, with that, we'll open it up for questions. I can't have covered it that well. Like Fred did say, and he mentioned a lot about the facility, mentioned a lot about what Josh has done since he's come. There's been a lot of different things, a lot of changes, and you lose someone like Coach Olson, it's a lot to lose. We were very fortunate to get a guy like Josh Moon that's come in with a different look and a different vision, and there's a lot of exciting changes going on now as well. So I think Northern State with Dr. Smith and his support is moving in the right direction from a university standpoint, but also from an athletic department standpoint. So it's a really exciting time, because it does, the coach said it's helped recruiting, and we'll find out in a few weeks, but we've already got some excellent news. So I mean, it's made a big difference already for us. Any questions? Yes, sir. Can't talk about anything recruiting. Yeah. If you could get online and do some things, you can do your own research. But at this point in time, we can't say or do anything at this point. Yes, sir. Oh, I think it's been, in practice, it's been great. It really has been. I think there's been guys that are returning and have worked really hard this off season with it. And you see a lot of differences with that. You add Sky Warwick to the mix that made 104 threes in his senior season, and Mac Arvinson, who made about 65 threes, both of which won a state championship. So, I mean, they've had to make those shots in tough times. I think Mac in his state championship game might have made 7 threes, maybe 6. I might be embellishing. I once got a fish this big, But, and Sky showed it in the quarterfinal or semifinal game when he hit, 2 shots well past 26 feet to put it into overtime and to win it. So you add those guys to the guys we have. Jared's been shooting the ball exceptionally well. Mike Emgey's been shooting the ball well. You got Trent Zomer. I had a 4 that's really shooting the ball well. And it's been exciting. Jeffrey Furman's worked extremely hard on it and improved at it. So I just think we've got guys that can really stretch the floor. Mitch White. Mitch is one of those guys that can play 3 different spots, can guard 3 different spots, can make threes, but can also make plays off I think he had 2 or 3 shot fakes into a pull-up against Jamestown in their scrimmage that you just don't you know, that's him. That's him putting time in and working at it. And, you know, he's definitely a guy that we're going to lean on a lot as well. So I think we're, you know, we had a lot of young guys that we put a lot on last year, and I think this year they'll be ready to take that step. Anybody else? That's good. If we can make it through without Chad Bergen asking a question, I'm going to be a pretty happy camper. It's holding, yeah, you got the muzzle on him. That's good. That's good. Our players will be around. Jared and Dustin will be around. We haven't let Dustin take any threes, so he's not one of those guys that we count on for threes. But we'll have these guys around if you have any questions for them. Thanks.
All right, thanks for coming out. Reminder, tonight at 7 p.m. we're having our tip-off event, and then as Coach said, Coach Sather, Coach Frederickson, and the student athletes will be here for questions if you want to stay and chat a little bit. Thanks again, and go Wolves.